here. So we're gonna start with we talked a little bit about your background in the editing days, editing old montages and stuff. How did you first transition from editing as like a hobby, editing your fun montages and stuff, to editing like as a job?
Yeah. So I mean, I started out just when I started out, content creation was very basic. Specifically when I started editing League, there were like very few established content creators, and people like me weren't actually really even known as editors, just content creators. We were just YouTubers. But as time went on, streaming and platforms outside of YouTube started to grow a lot, specifically Twitch. So people like me who actually enjoyed the side of editing or like enjoyed the side of content creation where you are editing and you are putting together a video, we started to get a lot of opportunities from people who just wanted to pursue a career in streaming. And that's kind of where mine was a bit different, but I saw this happening and I knew that this was the direction I was going to go. My transition was more, I kind of lucked out in that, I started posting on Reddit. That was my way of just sharing my content. I would only post just the videos that I made. And a few of those would get traction and people would reach out to me. And the first company that ever reached out to me was actually Riot. They were just working with content creators. It was kind of near the beginning of them starting to reach out to a lot of content creators. And I was one of the first editors, I guess, that they really wanted to kind of do a collaboration with. And so what I did was I made probably about 5 or 6 highlight videos from their LCS games. And I remember these being so special to me because it was the first time that they were really giving access to LCS game replays, which at the time was huge because editors I always wanted access to the replay files of games, because having access to a replay file means you get to go in with your tools and do the cool angles and, get all the cinematic shots. And it's a very big part of editing that was lacking in the professional League scene because they just weren't giving us access to those tools. You just weren't allowed to access the replay files of an LCS game.
Yeah.
I know now, I actually don't know what it's like now, but I know that they have a lot of people making content like that for them, and it all looks amazing. But at the time, it was just it was so brand new, and I was so excited to just make these montages that I had been making literally for Riot about their MVPs every week. And that's what I would do. Every time there was an MVP, they would tell me a few hours beforehand. And then that night, I would get all of the footage. I would start putting together the montage. I would sleep. The next morning, I would wake up and do the montage that day, send it to them before the night of, and usually they would post that day or the next morning. And so it was just a rush for me to get this video out, but I loved it so much. And it was my first opportunity as an editor to even make some money. And I remember being so new to it and not knowing how to negotiate prices or send an invoice the first time they reached out to me, I was too young to sign the contract. So I couldn't do the first job that they sent to me. But I was very lucky in that the people that I worked with kind of actually gave me guidance on how to conduct myself as an independent contractor. I remember even asking for a price and them telling me that's too low. And that was my first experience. Whoa, okay, yeah, that's all right. That's fair. And that's when I started to learn my worth. Even just as a brand new editor, I truly I was underselling myself like crazy. Even if I thought that the content I was making at the time wasn't anything amazing or special, I still felt like I was finally, making what I deserved. Or, yeah, I guess that's kind of
yeah. Why not? Say it. You deserve that money. That's another thing that we can talk about later. The self-worth of people who are producing this content. It's so easy to devalue yourself and just say oh, I'm not going to be worth this much money. Why would I ever ask that? It doesn't hurt to ask high and get worked down, negotiate.
Truly. And negotiating is still something that I'm learning to be comfortable with. I'm not a super aggressive person or anything. So when it comes to getting what's mine, sometimes I really do have to sit back and just kind of give myself the confidence to be okay, no, you deserve this or whatever. And it's a process to be able to do that, but learning to be able to negotiate for yourself is like huge. And just like not just kind of accepting the first thing that's thrown at you if you're not fully comfortable with it. But me personally, I've also gotten very lucky in my editing career, and I think I've gotten a lot of really just great jobs that I kind of just said yes to immediately because, you know, I was just happy to do it. So it goes both ways. You really need to never sell yourself short, and determining what that is for you is, you know, I guess everyone's kind of own journey and like figuring out what they consider their work to be worth, because I don't think just sharing rates is the best way to go about it, as I feel like, you know, I don't know. I never know the answer to that, but I always tell people just figure out what you consider your work to be worth and don't settle for less. Because there is work to go around, and as long as you are consistent and you keep going, you will find something eventually. I believe, you know, I might not have the best advice, but that's what I believe.
I am fully
Yeah.
I am fully of the opinion that there's no such thing as like a person there's experts, of course, but there's never going to be anyone who's just 100% right on everything. But that doesn't mean that you can't make a statement about something, like based on your own experiences. Why couldn't you make this statement? Why couldn't you say that?
Absolutely.
Nobody, like you can look at even doctors and even scientists are constantly wrong about stuff, and they're still saying stuff.
Totally
they
true.
went to school for 25 years to learn about the powerhouse of the cell, and they were wrong or something. I don't know. These examples.
Man. And I mean, yeah, but like, you know, working in this industry for the past 5 years, I have seen a lot of editors, you know, get mistreated and just not even really understand the situation that they're in, but I've also seen like situations where editors aren't getting mistreated and they just don't really understand what they're supposed to be providing to the streamer, or you know, a lot of it comes down to one, getting something in writing. Please get your jobs in writing. Do not just continue doing work without a contract. Even if it's with a streamer, you can make your contracts as an independent contractor. That's what you do, and have them sign it. Agree to your terms.
Yeah, not just a DM.
It's not, you need these things in writing.